Hi YouTube, I'm Drew and we're back with another one of my reviews. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Canon 550D T2i and we're going to be looking at the video capabilities of this camera. Perhaps you're thinking of upgrading from your handheld SD camera or even just a smaller HD camera and you're looking for something that looks a little bit more professional. Well, this camera is going to do it, and at a very inexpensive price. The Canon 550D T2i's video capabilities are virtually identical to its bigger brother Canon 7D, and lots of different shows and movies have actually been filmed at least partially on the 7D. Just to name a few: Black Swan, Red Tails, 127 Hours, as well as the popular YouTube show Epic Mealtime. This camera weighs in at 1.1 pound without the lens, just the body. And the overall impression is that it's quite cheap. It's very lightweight. It doesn't have any kind of rubber spray along the side for grip. It does have a couple grip spots here, one for your thumb and one for the front. But yeah, it does overall feel kind of cheapy and very light, which actually isn't that bad, because when you're using it with a GorillaPod like I do, some of the heavier cameras are going to start to kind of dip when you're holding it. Perhaps you want to just use this as your shoulder mount, as kind of just, you know, if you're holding it here just for stability. This camera doesn't cause the GorillaPod to move at all, so it's quite good that way. As you can see here, there are 5 different movie recording size options. There's the typical 1080p 30 frames per second if you want to get those really nice fluid shots. It does have the 24 option, which is really nice though if you want to be making more movie cinematic like videos. If you want to do some really fluid slow motion shots, you can drop it down to the 720p at 60 frames per second and use frame blending in a different program like Final Cut or Motion. Now, just a side note here that iMovie and a lot of the other programs, small editing or cheaper editing programs, will not allow you to import videos at 60 frames per second. They'll just down convert them to 30 frames per second, so you're still going to get the same. It also gives you the option of standard definition or a crop feature, which is really nice, which I think it's 7 times the zoom capability without distorting the image size. So there's lots of capability here that you would like to see in a very high-end professional camera. I am currently using a LX series 16 gigabyte class 10. Now make sure that when you're picking out a card that it's a minimum of class 10. I think this camera says that it will work with a minimum of class 6, but even with the class 10, it will stop recording sometimes midway and you'll have to wait for it to restart, and then you can start recording again. But it seems to be, if you're taking, especially if you're taking still photos while you're doing a video, it will cause the video recording to stop, or if you're moving your camera quickly during a shot, it will do that as well. With a 16 gigabyte SD card, you're looking at about 49 minutes of record time at the fullest HD setting, and it doesn't matter if you're doing 1080p or 720p, 30 frames per second, 24 or 60. They all seem to be about the same, 49 minutes recording time on 16 gigabytes. So keep that in mind when you are buying this camera, that it does take up a lot of space, so you're going to need to get a big card. Being able to connect an external microphone to your camera is a must-have if you're going to try to upgrade your professional HD videos. Some of the older cameras that do not have, some of the newer cameras actually do not have this capability. They still use the stereo sound. It doesn't sound good. This one I'm using a Zoom H1 mic, very good quality, inexpensive, about $100. You can get cheaper ones just to really boost the sound quality of your videos. This one will plug right into the camera so that you can just record and you don't have to sync them up in post-production. Next thing I'm going to be talking about is Canon's image stabilization, which is a must-have when you're doing professional videography. The T2i does not have image stabilization built right into the body of the camera. You have to get it with the lenses. So the kit lens, the 18-55, has the stabilizer function. It does chew up a little bit more of the batteries, but you'll see a huge difference. Thanks for watching my video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and check out my other videos on the Zoom H1 and the comparison between the Canon T2i and the Nikon D90. Now, although this camera was released in